A family calls the police to check on people they love. That's it. That's how this story starts. By sundown, it's a homicide investigation. Here's the detail that makes this one different. The man investigators are now hunting across international borders wasn't inside that house when police finally got in. He wasn't running out a back door. He wasn't hiding nearby. By every account investigators have given, he was already gone, out of the country, before his own family ever picked up the phone to check on him. Before anyone even knew to look. Let's rewind a bit, because the setup matters. The house sits in Litchfield Park, Arizona, a corner of the West Valley about 20 miles outside Phoenix. The kind of block where the lawns get edged on Saturdays and nobody's car sits on the street overnight. Not the kind of place true crime stories usually open on. Living there, a married couple and their adult son, 27-year-old Matthew Flores. By early August, all three had gone quiet. No calls back, nothing online, nothing. Most of us have lived a version of this that turned out to be nothing. A relative goes dark for a week and it's a dead phone, bad signal, a trip nobody mentioned. So when concerned family members finally called it in, they weren't bracing for a crime scene. They were bracing for an awkward phone call. Avondale police responded to what's officially logged as a welfare check. Routine, the kind of call that usually ends with someone opening the door mid-sentence, a little annoyed. This wasn't that call. When officers got inside that Tuesday, the house was empty. No family, no note, no sign of where anyone had gone. What they did find was blood, described by police as a significant amount, along with signs someone had tried to clean it up before leaving. That's what escalated this, within hours, from a welfare check into a homicide investigation. Police were clear on one point early. No indication of danger to the surrounding neighborhood. 2 days later, on August 6th, investigators searched the backyard and found 2 sets of human remains, buried and already decomposed. I want to be precise here, because precision matters. Police haven't formally confirmed identities. That requires an autopsy. But the ages reported match the missing parents, and outlets close to the investigation have named them, Hector and Larissa Flores. Their son wasn't among them. Not in the house. Not in the yard. As far as investigators could tell, nowhere at all. Before we get into where investigators believe Matthew Flores actually is, and the federal move that just changed this entire case, if you prefer true crime that waits for the truth, instead of guessing at it, hit subscribe. This is a channel that follows the facts, not the headlines, and this case is exactly why that distinction matters. Here's what separates this case from almost every fugitive story I've covered. Normally, someone runs after police get involved, after a knock at the door, after a warrant hits their name. That's not what happened here. By every account investigators have released, Matthew Flores left the country before his family ever called for that welfare check, before Avondale police ever set foot in the house. The decision to disappear came first. Not a reaction, a head start. This week, the case escalated again. The U.S. Marshals Service secured a federal arrest warrant, not for murder, which stays a state-level case, but for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. A federal charge that exists for exactly this situation. It's what lets the Marshals legally pursue someone across international borders alongside the FBI, instead of the case staying boxed inside Arizona. There's also a detail a lot of the early coverage missed. His full legal name is Matthew Christopher Flores Semyonov. Small thing, maybe, but in a case that's going to be built on a paper trail of travel records and border crossings, a full legal name is exactly the kind of detail that ends up mattering. The acting U.S. Marshal for Arizona, Van Bayless, has been direct about it. The department plans to use every resource available, including international partnerships, to locate Flores Semyonov and bring him back to face the courts. Crossing a border doesn't end the pursuit, but it does complicate it. Extradition isn't automatic, and it depends entirely on where someone's found. Countries like China, Russia, and the UAE don't have extradition treaties with the U.S. at all, which means eventually could stretch a lot longer than anyone wants it to. I keep coming back to that word. Eventually. It's what officials say when they're confident, but can't give you a date. And underneath it, there's a family that's already lost 2 people, still waiting for something that looks like an answer. So where does that leave us, right now, today? No arrest, no trial, no charges proven in front of a judge or a jury. Honestly, what stays with me isn't the manhunt, or the federal warrant, or the border complications. It's how this story started. A family, worried, made a phone call to check on people they loved. That's the most human thing in the world. It's also, somehow, where all of this began. We'll be watching this one. When there's something confirmed, an arrest, a court date, an answer, we'll come back and tell you exactly what we know, and nothing more. Until then, take care of the people you haven't checked on in a while. And I'll see you in the next one.